am very excited to see this. This is becoming one of the most interesting rivalries. I know Jonji likes to taunt the GODSENT fans on Twitter every so once in a while, likes to sort of debate up some action there. So I've really been enjoying watching this particular rivalry take shape. Now, this is interesting. We've got rocking right up the lane. Spongy coming out of the apartment's not going to get much with the dualies. Chezpuf did get a kill to keep it equal, but those dualies, we're hoping to have a little bit more impact with this just rapid play up the lane. Straight rush. Now, we do have more dualies out. These are Peters. He's going to be bringing those through, the dual Berettas, and they're making their way on in. Peter will be locking it down from the library. They've got presence coming out of the apartments as well. And two working their way up lane. Good holds for GODSENT. No kit either, so this could get very problematic. Exchange of fire working out well for GODSENT so far. Shake is trying, but at this point they're out of clock, they're out of time, and Chezpuf will be exterminated. Whoa. So another pistol round win for GODSENT. And at this point, that is what, 5 pistol rounds that they've won so far on the night? Oh no, wait. They finally dropped one in that
That's
Party
right.
Astronaut
Yes,
series.
that's right. You're right.
So they're 4 of 5.
Still, that was a very convincing victory on the pistol round, and that's kind of, I guess, what I'm worried about for the Bad News Bears to an extent, because GODSENT has been the only team of the two to get those like clean wins, clean 2-0, right? The Bad News Bears might have a little more trouble. They're probably the team that's going to be on the uphill climb against this GODSENT roster.
That's an interesting one to note. I will say the Bad News Bears, CT side on Inferno tends to be nice. Oh, that's not going to be noisy. That was catches Spongy off guard. He had no clue that far up the middle. John's just going to... I like that. Panic. Is there a player in the corner? No, not a player in the corner, but he has taken the space, so they got that control. They like to do this. And they got Peter in the know. The Molly comes in. He's done for. They're not mullying it. Are they going to clear it? Are they going to overlook this? They're distracted. Oh, no. Peter tried to go for the patient play. The trigger discipline does not pay out. Phelps was watching it this whole time, and so Taco gets away scot-free.
And, yeah, Bad News Bear is going to back off for the save here. Swisher with the Deagle, and so is John G. They're just trying to save the Deagles, I guess, at this point. Shake doesn't... Oh, yeah, has the body armor. That's true. Okay. So full body armor for Shake, doesn't want to throw that away, and it makes sense given that GODSENT have taken the A site, they have full control, and there's no reason to challenge here. Swisher might be able to catch one off if they charge in towards CT, but it looks like GODSENT are doing nothing of the sort. They don't have much money to absorb the loss of a rifle or even an SMG here, so it makes sense for them to hang back. You do see a little bit of a hunt from Barton, but nothing too crazy. After all said and done, it will be 2-0 for GODSENT, though, Mike.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing here is keeping 5 alive, right? You get that true bonus round.
Yep.
Swisher doesn't really have anything to say other than a flashbang, so he's going to go looking, but Phelps is deadly. Comes around. Boom. Phelps comes to collect. Was waiting for exactly that play. So it's going to be 2 players with armor and 2 Deagles that make it through, but that's not a major threat for GODSENT to deal with. This is a GODSENT team that we really haven't seen make too many errors in situations where they have the advantage. Obviously, that's just one series that we're talking about tonight, but they're looking polished. Sort of funny, only 2 players have gotten kills yet for GODSENT because Phelps has taken 6 in the last 2 rounds.
That's unreal. Hasn't died yet either. Barton hasn't died and has no kills. I'm sure that'll change soon, though, Mike, given how he played on the previous 2 maps, yeah.
It will change. We got the X-Wing set up. 4 guns, all pointed inwards. And it does seem like GODSENT wants to turn this particular mousetrap. So this could be bad. There's 2 players down. Chezpuf making some noise here with the pistol. He's lost his teammates, and yeah, he's dealt with. But Taco and Phelps both going to suffer for it. Bomb will be planted. This round will absolutely be in their favor. But if John G can make a little bit more of a run here, maybe get 1 more kill. No, never mind. Lotto just spams him down through the smoke as he comes out of library.
Mike, you said that Barton's scoreline might not change, or definitely will change, but it's possible it won't. He could finish at 0-0.
He's got an assist. He's got an assist.
Oh, fine. Yeah, there you go. I was talking about a kills to deaths, but okay.
If he makes it through this game with 0 kills and 0 deaths, I will be extremely confused.
Who knows? Anything can happen, right? I mean, I don't know. But either way, GODSENT are up 3-0, and they're looking pretty good. Double op setup here for the Bad News Bears. Not unusual for Inferno. John G and Peter probably playing the team base and respectively. John G comes out here with Swisher. They do get one, but John G's down. Taco with the SMG, and then he gets a second one. Nicely done for Taco. Shake's gonna have to make some noise here for his squad, and he absolutely does with a 3-piece to make it 3v1 in favor of the Bad News Bears. Great play by Shake.
Chezpuf. That's the kind of thing he can do. Yeah, he's the leader. But don't tell him he can't step up. The heck of a way to do it. Barton's trying to clear some space out on towards site, but he's giving away his position as he does so. Minute 15, he does have the bomb. He's trying to find it. And he's found Spongy. Shot straight to the dome. Oh, savvy play from Barton. He is always so much fun to watch. So now, does he realize the remaining 2 players are in church? No, he won't. But he is clearing his ankles. He's eliminating the possibilities. He might just be able to get this bomb planted. It's all going to be about timing, though. He's out towards the new box. Has to advance forward. He's going to get checked for the coffin. So down he goes. Shake Zula for his 4th kill of the round. It's all Shake here. He is the Mike Rula. It looked like they'd blown the doors off of sight. And boom, the Bad News Bears come roaring back in on the back of Shake.
That's a great round, and that's kind of the difference between the Bad News Bears and I would say Party Astronauts, at least against a team like GODSENT, is they can come out with those really big rounds from any one player. Yes,
I hate to disappoint you, but Barton both got a kill and a death there, so he's now 1.
He's ruined it.
But he's maintained the balance, so let's see if he can just maintain the balance all the way through and just 1-1-1, 2-2-2, 3-3-3.
It's really a ridiculous thing that I said, though, for someone to say, oh no, it just thought, you know, it is a possibility.
It's theoretically possible. You were not wrong. Phelps is theoretically possible that he could just lurk his way through the smoke at top of Banana and kill 2. Dynamic duo for them. Shut down. Shake Zula. This time he can only get 1. The 1 was still impressive, making the same play back in the smoke. But the problem is at this point, the site's been lost, and this should be a safe call. And it's going to be, especially with Peter on that AWP that cannot afford to risk it. So that's going to be GODSENT right back in control off of pretty much the same play. They basically said, there's no way Shake gets 3 twice in a row, right?
They were right to take that gamble. I mean, obviously it's possible for Shake to do it. He's done it before, but this time around he does get shut down. He's already at 9, and Spongy, Jonji, and Peter have been held off the board for the first 5 rounds. Only Swisher having frags outside of Shake with 2, which is unusual to say the least. Obviously, Shake is not known necessarily for his fragging prowess, although as an IGL he does frag very well. But usually Peter, Spongy, even sometimes Swisher, the damage. That said, we're still early on in this map. GODSENT going to take the 4-1 lead, but they've been building up quite a bit of economy for themselves.
All right. Here's the Peter op. Ace. Calling my shot. He's got no kills yet. Ace. This round.
Dirty Peek Pete.
Dirty Peek Pete. Where does he bring the AWP? Gonna take that mid peak or the apartments peak? Mid peak. Coming with the AWP. Dirty Peek. He's boosted up. All right. I like this. I like where we're going with this. I like the motion of his ocean. And they're going to give it up. A little bit too long. Nervous about the guy getting up on top. Ult mid. And threatening. So the op moves. Where's the op going to move? Kind of hoping it was going to move over towards B. I think it's unlikely he's going to get the ace at this point, but you never know. Pete has surprised me before. I would love to see it. Love to see the Peter ace. That's going to be Jonji deleted. He gets mollied, burned alive. So that's already a player down. 1 done, dusted, out for the count. And now they're taking space towards A. They throw the smoke up. That's going to draw Peter back over with that AWP. It's going to bring in the pressure. And there's no one to contest this, so GODSENT's going to get a ton of space. Where's this SMG? That's the only other real threat, and it's on the balcony, or we're in the pit. Maybe they're stacking 2 in pit. I think this is going to fall back in towards a B hit, and at that point, there's really going to be nothing that Bad News Bears can do.
Mike, just a note, Jonji took no damage from a gun there. It was 2 nades and a Molotov that fragged him completely.
That's bad, man.
Yeah.
Peter is at least in the angle, but of course he's smoked off, so there's really nothing he can do with that AWP, and if they lose this site and the bomb goes, yeah, I was going to say, you're probably not going to risk it, but Shake Zula doing that, right? Suddenly the game is afoot. The game is off. That was bold. Very recoverable, though. and now they need bail. Bail before the smoke goes up. There we go. Shake Zula's got the op. He's going to try and commit robbery here and steal it away into the next round.
Mike, chat just pointed out, and I think they're right. Janji died because the Molotov bottle hit him.
He got bottled?
Yes.
He got bottled? That never happened. I love it. He got bottled. Goodness gracious. That never happens, man. That is the rarest death encounter. Actually, you know what? A flashbang. Usually decoy throw flashbangs at people. Well, but if you have a decoy, you might as well play decoy dodgeball. But a flash, you're usually trying to throw up or popping up, so you're rarely throwing it at a position that you know a player's in. You're trying to throw it to blind that position, right?
True, true.
I will say, if Janji and Peter aren't fragging, this is not a team that's going to have a lot of success.
No. Yeah.
Especially on Inferno. They both got critical roles on Inferno. Janji gets hyper aggressive to take control of Banana.
Yes.
Constantly taking the fight over there. Peter's constantly patrolling in towards mid.
It's weird though to run Janji on, excuse me, on the off on Inferno because he can't really be as aggressive on Banana with the AWP in hand. It keeps him more planted and grounded, which I would say is a disadvantage for him.
Yeah, I think normally on Inferno they run Swisher as the secondary.
Exactly. Yes, yes, they do.
But maybe this is a change-up. Again, we know that some changes are coming from this team. The changing of a caller. As much as it is, you know, a system was in place and Shake Zula's calling it, of course things are going to shift. Of course Shake is going to mold it in his own image. It's just how IGLs work. Heater. Okay, time for a dirty peek. Phelps is on the angle. We know how ridiculously filthy Phelps has been so far. 9 and 4. And the op is going to miss. Phelps gets skinny. Dodges the bullet. Neither player takes damage, though, so they'll back away. But the position is lost as Peter's forced to give it up. Not one to re-peek that wisely. Means that now top brackets control is given over to GODSENT. Smoke up. They're using some utility to slow this down, but 35 seconds, it does seem like it's going to group in towards an A hit. A couple smokes down on towards the site, and now the utility fire comes in. They've dumped it all. They're ready for the move, and Lato takes first blood. Shake, trying to back up. He's trying to hide for as long as possible. They've been able to look at blood. He's got two. Oh. There we go. The long con pays off, and Janji gets on the board with a no-scope. Dumao in the pit. He's alone. He's the last one here. He's playing the angle, and Janji will rip his head from his shoulders. That defuse is on. Janji goes back to get his off. And Bad News Bears onto their second round.
And the BM always coming through for Janji. Love it. I mean, he can be relied on for that pretty much. And Janji going to pick up the op again, though, after he gets done with his BM. Double op setup's going to come right back through. That was just a great play of patience in mini pit by Spongy and Shake. I mean, Shake pretty much convincing them that no one else was going to be there, so they didn't re-clear it, and Spongy came out, got a 2K, eventually got flanked by Dumao, but still, the damage was done. Well played by the Bad News Bears to pick up that round, and of course the no-scope, and then the final frag coming in from Janji, his first two on the map, are certainly going to help the Bad News Bears, especially if that trend continues moving forward.
Yeah, it's good to crack, like you said, good to crack with a no-scope, even better. Weird play sometimes wants to get you moving. Look at that nade damage! Oh, look at the red. Janji takes some back in kind, but it's not even by any measure. Phelps clinging to life. Lato, not much better. Barton looking down on them and thinking, well, I guess I can't complain. This is brutal. Now they're going to be so susceptible to these as they come around the corner. Spongy takes one, falls away. Nade chases. Damage being done. They've taken arches, though. They've got a player through. That's Phelps. He may not have health, but he has positioning, and sometimes that's all you need in the world. He's in towards the library. Dumao's out of play. Still the bomb towards lane. And Taco kind of on his lonesome as his teammates try and get in position. Taco's going to cross. The timing works in his favor as Peter just moved off the angle. Do they want to re-aggress? They want to hit the brakes for a moment. They want to see if Bad News Bears will give them something back. And based on Phelps' positioning, that could be a good bet. He's going to make his move out now, but watch. Swisher's ready for it. No! Swisher pulls off. Counter-Strike is so much a game of timing. And now Phelps is going to help sell a fake. But the fake, it's been figured out. Janji readjusting. They can't rotate too hard. They know that. missed a critical shot, but he gets it on the second. Now it's just the low HP players that also dashes the bomb for a moment, which should slow down a plant if it comes through. Lato will get numbers. No, he can't. That's the round. Phelps at this point likely just going to save.
Bad News Bears waking up in a big way there. Spongy getting 2. And just, I mean, at the beginning of the round, getting that much utility damage. I think it was almost 300 utility damage in the first 10 seconds of the round. That helps a lot. And of course, Spongy getting off the softened targets. So Bad News Bears want to pick up a third, no doubt here. Phelps just has to save the AK, like you mentioned, Mike. And suddenly things are getting a lot closer.
Starting to see the juices flow here. Peter's now cracked his goose egg as well. This is where they're feeling a little bit more fire. We do have a pause coming through here. It is kind of interesting. We saw him do that a lot in the old Triumph, where maybe things weren't working out as well for him. Just gotta let that play. All right, we're back into the round. Whatever issue it is, it's resolved. We're back into the fun here. But if Shake can continue to elevate the level of his fragging, combined with what he brings to the table for Peter, he's the complete package, man.
He's also quite a good secondary opper as he started to perform in that role at the latter part of that trial kind of existence. Since he's no longer part of it, I would consider it almost a new roster. But what I'm trying to say is he could run that second op of Jonji. Find his rhythm, but I'm assuming that he wants to do it this way since, Shake can change things up. He's not affected by GM. He's not afraid to mix it up in order to find the results.
Apologies there. Somebody who's definitely not compensating for anything was just driving their very large automobile past my window. Just had to hit the quick mute here to not blow out your eardrums. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on in this round. Once again, top bracket control has been taken. Dumao and Jonji have had a bit of a damage exchange here, but nothing catastrophic, nothing conclusive here. It's a pretty classic setup for the Bad News Bears. They got Shake playing from the graveyard. We got Spongy and Mini Pit, as he is wont to do. He's playing a lot more from Mini Pit than Pit itself now. He's going to come to clear. They're going to get him. But no, Spongy gets one before going down. That's well done. Swisher can come back to the smoke, but Phelps is the last piece. And so it's going to come down to Jonji in a 1v2, and he's the player who is limping to begin with. I've already gotten into Pit. This should be really tough for him. He's trying to clear out Barton, but he's going to know he needs to clear Barton to be able to move on towards site. And they got a very good crossfire to make this work. Jonji, does he get the first shot? Clears up on the box, and no. Phelps will take him out of play. That was looking good for Bad News Bears for a moment, but then Phelps and Barton just came through and got those last couple of kills that they needed to push it over the edge.
Is that...
And we're back! Alright! We're going straight to the action. Looks like we're live. Hop in. Oh, look at our faces. Our faces look gross. The game is pretty. Alright, what is this setup? Are we actually live here?
I think so.
What is this setup? Barton's playing anti-flash. They're really expecting an aggressive play down banana. They're not getting it, though. Okay, I understand the setup now. For a moment, based on the fact they were sticking towards spawn, I thought maybe we're going not live again, but Jonji's been injured, so the game is happening at this point.
Yeah, and this is bad news for the Bad News Bears. As GODSENT is sending a bomb supposedly towards that B site. Already got 2 players kind of creeping up for information. Barton just tapping away in apartments over at the A site, but that's more of a distraction than anything else. And of course, the Bad News Bears needing to stack a site given their very limited buy-up. They chose A, they gambled wrong, and GODSENT will get a free plant.
You gamble. Sometimes you lose. A couple sets of armor can be taken through, some sidearms, there's a flashback. Jake Zula with the zoom effect. Or the bottom of the banana with it, which is what I would recommend. And what I suspect. For GODSENT, obviously, this is another one in the bank. 7 rounds minimum here on T side of Inferno. They're doing a pretty good job of it. This isn't a team that's really missed a beat from what we saw against Party Astronauts, which tells me that as much as Party Astronauts had a rough day, lost some man advantages and things like that, this GODSENT team is on point right now. You do love to see that.
They're looking quite solid.
Shake just running taps and dinked Barton through the smoke.
I didn't catch it. Yeah, wow. Well, Lotto gets a kill at the end there. The Bad News Bears pistol round didn't go as they would have hoped, but they will have the rifles back into their hands here, heading into round number 11. GODSENT, though, have the 4-round lead on their T side, which is very nice for them. And like you said, Mike, their kind of momentum is continuing over from the previous series. The only thing that isn't continuing is Taco's domination, because he's only at 3. Barton. We're going to go through T apartments here. Heading to alt mid. Peter. We haven't really seen too much of. Only 1 frag on the board. Typically, they're top frag in the past, and very solid with that AWP. It's only a matter of time before he wakes up.
Potentially. He is the one that we just had our server swap for. So, whatever issue was going on, they got it sorted. Seems like we're going to get this B take once more. Which means that Jonji and Swish are going to be under pressure. This is a dynamic duo for the Bad News Bears. The Bash Bros, Peter has called them before.
Yes.
See if they can do some bashing here. Bit of crossfire. There's the spot. Flashbangs up, though, and a lot of deals with Swisher. They've spotted Jonji, and, well, the Bash Bros are no more. Well, there's not. Dead. Bombs down. Round's over. Save called. Bad News Bears out of this. They can see an 8th to GODSENT.
I feel it's trending more in that towards that 2-0 direction that GODSENT took that first BO3 against the Bad News Bears, or second BO3 against the Bad News Bears, than the closer 3 map affairs they've played 2 other times, Mike. But,
oh, ye of little faith. Still early.
It is,
Still
but
early.
just my intuition is telling me this.
It's very much about how good GODSENT looked today. It really is. Lato's having a game right now. Phelps is having a game. We were talking about it on Overpass. It was Taco who was popping off. Like, and we know what Dumal can do. We haven't really seen him pop off just yet, but he's been fine. 5-5. He's rolling. He's just not dominating the way that he can. So this GODSENT team right now, it's looking like everybody's on point. Everyone's bringing it. And this team's looking really dang good. 67% headshot percentage for Phelps.
See,
Excuse me.
I mean, over the last 3 months, he's sitting at 46%, so this is above his average, of course, here on this map.
But that's a filthy high average.
It's very high, yeah. GODSENT, man, they're already at 8. They've already taken this first half. And like you said, they're looking great. It's such a great team, though. They were built for success with 4 Phelps and Taco there. I mean, those are big names that you're bringing into this roster, and you've got 3 of the best up-and-comers in Brazil to round it out. Jonji might be able to catch one with the USPS, but no, he does not. Phelps does manage to frag him. Barton takes down Shake, and they're just picking the Bad News Bears apart, even though they have rifles in their hands, Mike.
We're getting whomped. Getting whomped. There has been some serious damage done, but as we talked about when they took that B site, 3 alive, no control towards site, no positioning. It's a safe call. Bad News Bears are getting the heck out of there. They're bailing. That op wants to be saved through, so it's going to be a 9th round here for GODSENT with no contest on the retake. They're getting close to a couple of these kills, but close is not enough. It's only enough in horseshoes and hand grenades, as they say. And in CS, honestly, close isn't enough with hand grenades. You really need to get them right on them.
Oh, yes, you do.
Buff HEs. I'll die on that hill.
Oh, no, they're perfect. I don't want to see, like, Call of Duty nades coming into Counter-Strike.
I don't need to see that much. I just need to see a little buff. Little buff. If a nade hits you in the teeth, if you're unarmored, little
I'm not sure I'm on your side, though.
all right, I'll die on this hill alone.
Yeah.
I love
Sorry.
G play. I think if 2 nades land on your head, that should be a reliable out.
Well, it is. Usually.
That's the problem, is you said usually.
If it
So
were all
inconsistent.
that's what's great about Counter-Strike. You know, no 2 plays end up being the same.
I suppose that's true. Right now, it's Bad News Bears are hoping that no two plays will end up the same, because so far the plays have not been working out for them. See if they can change up their fortune here. You ever think of how wild it is that GODSENT is GODSENT? It's an interesting branding.
I'm not sure if I'm following you.
Well, it either requires, I guess it's, are you religious or are you like heretical to call yourself GODSENT? I don't know. I'm getting too deep five me. I'm gonna back away before I get myself in trouble. Dumao and Phelps are gonna go straight in. There's no backing away right now. They've taken the site. The bomb is down. They've saved again. Except you're running out of opportunities to do so. There's only one more round, 2 more rounds, sorry, in this half. So you gonna keep saving? Seems like that's gonna be the case. Janji's the only player even positioned to potentially go for something here, and at this point, any kills he gets on the exits do not matter unless he can get himself an upgrade on the FAMAS. That would be nice.
Yeah, for sure. But what I wanted to say was, like, obviously, Shake is going to switch things up with his his calling. You know, the way that play the game, which is fine. But I'm just feel like they're taking a little bit of the aggression that they used to soften them that led to their success in the past. As Lato is going to take the time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think there's a balance to be.
Yeah, I mean, in this round, it's not. This map, it's clearly not working for them. Something ain't working for them. Something ain't working.
I really, yeah, I guess GODSENT are just playing that well, because we know the Party Astronauts were much better than what how they performed on that series against GODSENT, but the Bad News Bears for sure are better than only 3 rounds on their CT side on Inferno.
Well, let's see if they can get 4. They're going to try and find that out right now. No AWP for Pete, but it's been quiet for Pete, so maybe that won't be the case. The nade's ineffective here for Bad News Bears, at least on the initial salvo. Give Johnny the space. No, the flash caught him. What a great flash from Lotto. Janji just tried to hold mouse 1 because he knew he was out in the open and frankly up the creek, and Lotto capitalized. Smoke down to cover this off. If you have a molly, you can isolate a player there, but they don't. Second player's come in to support. It's Sheikh Zula back on the angle. He did have that 1 round where he delivered them with a 4K on the B site. But that's one of the 3 that they've won. It has been very quiet, especially for his teammates as well. The big problem here when you look at the board, John, is that the 3 players who are supposed to be fraggers are mouse quiet. And Phelps has now just walked through a smoke again and gotten kills, and he's following it up with more. This round's over. It's done. It's dusted. It's Sheikh Zula against 5. If he pulls this off, I'll believe in miracles. Smoke now up. He should just save, even though that is a very bitter pill to swallow. Phelps is creeping to try and prevent the save. He's actually going to withdraw. They'll definitely get this round. There's really nothing that Sheikh can do about it, especially maybe he could like drop a smoke and go for a ninja, but they're not going to allow this. They're not going to allow him to even think about it. And so indeed, he will just clutch his M4. But as I was saying, you look at the kill numbers. Normally, we don't like to highlight individual performance kind of thing. Ooh, there we go. Sheikh gets 2 and an upgrade to an AK. But Sheikh Zula and Spongy are fragging, right? Sheikh's on 14 with those 2 kills. 2 of them are exits, whatever. Spongy's on 8 and 8. The 3 players you want... Oh, poor Sheikh. Can't take the gun through. You want to be fragging out. Peter, Swisher, Janji, they're all missing in action.
Only 8 frags combined for those 3. And if you look at their stats when they were going through the playoffs, for example, in season 36 of ESEA Premier, Peter had 271 frags lead the way, plus 71 kill to death differential. Swisher at 247 with a plus 14 kill to death differential, and Janji at 245 with an 87.6 ADR, which led the team in terms of ADR. So yay, there's Peter. Flashbang going to get Phelps right off the bat. That's a good sign here. It's round 15, but still better late than never. Janji going to drop Yumao, and they have a 5v3. But yeah, these 3 players have been so dominant in the past. But here, like you said, they've gone quiet. That said, Spongy has been a bit on fire as of late. He's, over the last month, the third place player in terms of frags at 404 with a plus 46 kill to death differential, so he's doing pretty well for himself.
If we're going to get a B hit here, Molly should delay them as the execute comes over. Molly comes in. Switcher holding that to the last possible second. And they're going to smoke it. No, they're actually just going to run right through. Lato nearly taking out that nade will finish him. No getting away from that. That ain't she's effective. But Taco just goes through the smoke and catches Swisher quick switching. So now Donji's kind of on an island. He's got support coming in, but deleted by Barton. Holy cow, what a peek there. And now the bomb is down. The Bad News Bears finally had an advantage. Finally had a setup. Finally have gotten a kill from each of their 3 fraggers who've been missing. Now they need to be able to convert this round. This would be a catastrophe. There's the peek. There's the kill from Shake. Love that play. Shouldering the angle. Just catching him out. It's all going to be on the Taco. A bit of an off angle, but he's been spotted. Now his position's known. Now he won't.
Are you kidding me?
Shake Zula. Okay. Shuts it down. Keeps this reasonable. Will have the defuse. So the Bad News Bears will at the very least get 4. But
No.
Gay for Shake at Shake Zula. Is that a Steam group? What's going on here?
Wow. But yeah, that was another round where Taco almost pulled off the 1v3, which looked very similar to what he did against the Party Astronauts. But this time the Bad News Bears have the answer, which is Shake Zula. He's up to 16 frags, only 8 deaths, and Bad News Bears at least pick up a 4th. That's not as scary of a score line to look down upon, 11-4, and they have a chance of coming back into this one on their team.
It's not good.
No, it's you know, it's
Yeah, 11-4 is better than 12-3.
yeah.
But it's pretty scary. Again, considering this is their map pick as well, and the next map, Vertigo, is a huge unknown for this Bad News Bears team. Wow, Phelps, that looks crispy. And so they haven't even seen Lotto yet. Lotto's hiding with a CZ. Phelps does the bait, but if Phelps just kills them all, who cares if he's the bait? Lotto's like, all right, come on, let me peek. Let me see if I can get one. Nope, they've left. He's pushed them off. He's done his job. So now they'll start to rotate towards the site because they know they've chased these players off. But they got to get the reinforcements here, especially since Taco is so low. The Glocks will take him. But no, Taco's still going to get a kill. Barton is standing on the balcony and continuing to swing. If taking those 2, they should be able to get a bomb plant at the very least. But once again, player pressuring by the Moto Smoke coming through. And Peter can't line up that last shot. At least Shake takes him out immediately afterwards. But now Shake, he's shot in the back. There's nothing he can do about that. That CZ finally rears its head. The defuse is on, and GODSENT take another pistol round.
This is just crazy right now. GODSENT 5 and 6 on the night in pistol rounds now. Oh, yo. The Bad News Bears can't get a break either. I don't remember the last time I saw Peter only get 2 frags and a half, but it's been a long time. I mean, obviously he's been having connection issues, and I'm sure that plays a part, right? Still, that's how well GODSENT is playing right now, I think. More a testament to how well they're playing than anything else.
I mean, it's been bleak.
Yeah.
It's been bleak for the Bad News Bears here on Inferno. You don't normally see them washed on this map like this. With that pistol, we're likely going to see the GODSENT climb. We'll see. This is a pretty good force buy. We got a couple rifles out. We got a couple SMGs. We got the Deacon again, the Swisher. Dumao pulling a page out of John G's book, getting aggressive here down by the log pile. They've taken deep control here at Banana. They've got 2 players set up for it as well. The SMG spotted a Shin. Tries to get that kill. He smoked it even. Oh, you wanted this Banana fight? Oh, you wanted it? Wait another few seconds.
Peter, thinking about going down Banana here. Dumao's in a really good position to make a lot of noise and get some frags on the board. Did they spot him out? I think they might have seen him. Peter's jiggle peeking around this corner. No, they didn't know at all. Dumao's going to get a 2K. Shake and Peter go down. Could find another one. No, Spongy with the jumping Mac 10 gets him. Then he finds Lado as well. So at least a 2v3 possible for the Bad News Bears here. The bad news is Spongy and Jonji are miles apart. They have to find a way to regroup here.
I like this read. Janji's taking the space out towards the lane. There is still a player graveyard. This peak is going to be... Oh, he sees him. He sees him. He sees him. Spotted the Shin. Knows that Phelps is here now. Gets the kill. Zeroed in. There we go. Gets the upgrade as well. Now it's going to be the bomb down. All just from seeing one little Shin. Now it's a 2-on-2 with the site controlled, with the player tucked into the corner of the site. They'll hear the footsteps to Taco thunderfooting his way around towards lane. So that information should be communicated over. Janji's position in the mini pit. That molly doesn't work out for him, and now there's going to be a flash for Janji's peak. Flash goes out. It's actually just to slow them down. Down. Second through the hay card. Done and dusted. Bad news bears. They win the force buy, and with that, they might just find their way back into this game.
Support by Janji and great read, like you said, by the Bad News Bears to go towards that A site. But for me, it's Spongy getting those 2 frags with the MAC-10 to really turn the round around. That was a key point in that one. And then, of course, Janji spotting out the Shin of the player over at Graveyard to make sure the Bad News Bears get on the board for a 5th and a big one to find after GODSENT got the pistol round victory. And GODSENT, as a result, are going to be stuck on a deco. More than a deco, in fact. They kind of forced a little bit into this round, not completely, but enough to kind of hinder their economy heading into the heading into the next round of play, I should say.
Little bit of an 8 exchange, nothing catastrophic here. Does seem like we're gonna get another skirmish at the top of Banana. Everybody's blind and nobody's getting kills, but eventually Mal lines up the Deagle shot. Issue too much. Let's get the trade. Doesn't cost him much health. Considering how little's being brought into this round, I think GODSENT's pretty okay with that exchange. Still, they are invested. I say how little's being brought in, but they are invested here. This would be catastrophic if Bad News Bears fumbled it. We'll take the top brackets. They're going to make their way up the lane. Here they're coming in. Nice nade onto Taco. Will be burning. Has to drop a smoke to survive. Barton connects with 1. They're trading it evenly. They know the player's in mini pit. Barton still doing damage. Can't allow this. They will clear him out, and there we go. Spongy deals with the pit. He's a man who likes to spend time in pit on their CT side. So now he's cleaned it out for his team. Still, it's been an expensive round, but they have to deal with Lotto. Deagle and a MAC-10.
Is he going all the way around apartments? Okay.
He just wants the kills.
Yeah.
He's not going to win the round, I don't think. Like he thinks. Just 1 kill here. Money in the bank. And it won't happen.
Yep, Peter's not going to allow that, so Bad News Bears pick up a second. Like you said, a costly round, so they're going to have to invest quite heavily into this one. You'd think Spongy would have bought an AK for Janji, but I guess not. They're just going to give Janji the MAC-10, and it's going to be 2 MAC-10s, the AK, and I'm not sure what the Bad News Bears are going to buy up next. It makes sense to go for the 2 MAC-10s because they know that GODSENT's economy is not looking good, but now the 3 AKs are going to come through. Over on GODSENT, not a single pistol bot, just 3 pieces of civilian. All those are going to fly out here towards window. They're just burning alive in this Molotov. Spongy gets 1 and a second over on Phelps and Taco. Taco did manage to connect for a frag on Spongy right after he got that frag, or those 2 frags, but still. In control here. I say that, but Lato with the USPS double dinks Janji gets the frag, makes it a 3v3, and GODSENT are coming around here. Oh, Dumao almost got the edge on Sheikh Zula, but he had his wits about him, sprayed him down with the MAC-10, and now Peter's going to take the left, try and draw Lato, and Lato almost gets another one. Luckily for Peter, Swisher was there to get the final 2 frags, and Peter gets a little bit of a bonus to his own economy by planting that bomb.
Which is the guardian angel in that round. Just watching from above, keeping them safe. Like a gargoyle in a 90s cartoon. Always keeping watch. So 5-round lead is all that remains for GODSENT. Starting to shrink this gap, but the rifles haven't been out. Now the guns are out for GODSENT. This is where we get a real idea of whether Bad News Bears are going to be able to hang on here. Where the GODSENT might just waltz away. And while there's some money saved up, saved up. It's not fantastic. It's not phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, you have the Bad News Bears taking window room control, which is good. Barton's waiting for it, and so is Taco. They're kind of stacked up, double stacked up towards Boilers. Shake Zula gets Barton. Good trade coming in from the Bad News Bears, but taking a lot of damage in turn. Switch it down to 44. Shake at 27 versus a lot more HP on the Godsent side. Taco's going to spray down Shake through the wall. Spongy does come back to get the trade, and more. Spongy's on fire here, Mike, into this second half, and even in the first half, he was playing well, but those are two more very impactful frags coming through. Lato gets spotted out around the edge of the smoke, and now the 3v2 looks even better, and a flubbed HE might just call the save here for Godsent.
It should. It's an omen, right? It's an omen. So you flub that nade, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to hit my shot. I will back off. You can have this round. Treat it nice. So there we go. Rifle round 1 for the Bad News Bears. A little bit of faith inspired. Rob's favorite moment of the broadcast. Highlighting a flub nade. Oh, it's a little bit awkward movement. I think he clipped the door frame on his right, bumped into the left.
Sometimes it's really tough to read where the nades are going to hit the wall or not in Counter-Strike, though, so I feel that, especially when you're trying to get those nades thrown at a very tight angle. Anyway, Bad News Bears, good for them. They've got an 8th round on the board. They've cut the lead to only 4 for Godsent, but now Godsent are going to come back with the rifles, and they're ready to rock. Let's see if the Bad News Bears continue to have the answers against their Brazilian opponent.
Spongy's having a good game. Those kills actually aren't accurate. He's up to 17.
No, he's great.
17. He's doing great right now. Yeah. It's crazy how top heavy the scoreboard is, and it's Spongy and Shake leading it.
I don't think we've ever seen that. Well, I mean, we haven't seen Shake, of course.
Yes, not with Shake. But sometimes when this roster is struggling, it is Spongy who steps up. Dumao boosted up. Gonna collect the Jonji. That's the 1 of 2 rifles they've got in play here, and it's already found its mark. That's the way you have impact when you got limited weaponry. Mao seems like he's going to play anti-flash off of Phelps. Well, no, he's just going to play on second orange, but just positioning himself there. They're going to come around. They want this B hit. They want it. And you can see Godsent's not rotating because the assumption is, well, we just got a pick here. We just showed a rifle here. Maybe they'll shift around. So they don't want to move too much presence off. So the question is what can they do? 1, 2, they line up for him. Oh no! Dumao single-handedly dismantling this take. There's the Vegan action all onto Shake Zula, but he's down to half health at this point, and he still has to get this bomb planted. Wanted to stick around up top for as long as he possibly could to see if he could maybe get a kill, but now they're moving in with the retake. And reminder, this was a broken buy. 2 guns saved through, and that was it. And Godsent snatch it away, steal it away from them. Absolute punch in the gut here.
Great play by Dumao. I mean, just the perfect spray down to get the 2K, and Godsent strike back, like you said, with a very odd buy-up. Thought they might invest a little bit heavier into the round, but they decided not to, and it was the right call because now their economy is looking great. They'll be able to buy up no problem. That said, the Bad News Bears did have enough of a cushion to get a full-on buy-up once more here. So another chance to crack their way back into this match for a case and the op on their side. And one thing I forgot to mention, Mike, is that Spongy and Shake Zula are obviously no strangers to playing with each other. They were on that Triumph roster not too long ago.
And that Impact roster.
Yes. And the one, yeah, there was also a different...
Comrade.
Anyway, yeah. It was the intact roster, and of course there was a time when they weren't intact, and I think it was just called Will and the Bull. It's a weird name. But either way, Jonji's going to get the headshot over on Dumao to make it a 5v4 in favor of the Bad News Bears. It's exactly what they needed to kick things off.
It was like fragging for Andy.
Yeah.
Name yourself. That was Vision. That wasn't them. That was Vision.
Okay.
After they got dropped by Vision Gaming, they became fragging for Andy. That was with VSA. God, remember VSA? Been a minute since he competed.
Yeah.
Barton from the pit. Always dangerous. Deleted. Drops in, asserts himself. There's dominance. Taco in the back of the site. He will get one, but that's about all he can do here. And at this point, it's a question of whether Lato wants to even come in. This bomb's down. It's a 4v2. This should likely be a save. But Lato, okay. Yeah, you lose a lot of health, but what a swing. What a peek. Yeah, they're backing away. Godsent know they got the advantage. There's no reason to play it short. You can play the long game. They'll even likely be able to buy in this next round if Lato and Phelps can drop. Taco has plenty of money for himself. Yeah, good save call.
That's the type of assertiveness on a take that we're used to seeing from the Bad News Bears. I'm happy to see them come through with that. They just walked into the site, won the aim duels, and got that bomb planted in a hurry, which is great. They get the round victory up to 9. Like you said, in terms of long game, it does favor GODSENT at this point, so it makes sense to just try and save those rifles. That peak, some of the peaks we're seeing from GODSENT, maybe the Bad News Bears aren't used to seeing that because they're losing duels that I've seen them win before. It's just how good GODSENT is coming around those corners and getting those shots.
One thing we haven't really seen a lot of is the AWP yet on the CT side. Purely, I would guess, for economic reasons. Although at this point, I'm starting to wonder whether they're going to have the cash to bring it up or whether they just don't want to play with the op on Inferno, which is kind of interesting to me. Can be very effective. Double op, in fact, can be very effective on that. Smoke put down. A lot easily being committed towards top banana. Not a huge impact for either side. Looks like Dumel wants to swing. Oh! The nade might actually do it. Lato does get a kill. Janji. It was a trade. And the nade did not find Swisher at the log pile. Thought it was going to collect him. So a 4-on-4, everybody limps away. Or at least -1.
Just an update, Mike. Team 1 has defeated RBG, and that means we are guaranteed to have a Brazilian team in the final with Team 1 and Pain facing off.
All right. I mean, if GODSENT take this there, it could be a Brazilian final.
Yeah. For the first time in Mythic Cup history to boot.
I just heard that classic sound in North Philadelphia where you question what it was for a little while.
Uh-oh.
It'll be okay. Probably.
I hope so. Close that window, Mike.
Wasn't that close to that would make a difference. Barton does get a kill, dropping into the pit here. They certainly know he's here, and he is quite alone, but Barton, that doesn't seem to phase him. Not at all. Another kill comes in. Barton patrolling this, holding it. Now the cavalry is on. Now the rotation is on, but look at this. Swisher's made his way through. Swisher's made his way through. They're going to reroute. Oh, this could get weird. No, they're just out of time. I lost track of the clock there. They're out of time. It was a save. Bad News Bears will take what they had in the next. And GODSENT climb ever closer to that first map win, trying to get their map stolen away from their opponents.
Oh boy. I mean, honestly, again, it's looking like that 16-8 that GODSENT pulled off against the Bad News Bears on Inferno, which not many teams can say they've done, because typically, even when the Bad News Bears are losing on Inferno, it's not by a lopsided scoreline. That said, it's a little bit closer here, and the Bad News Bears do have a chance to make it 10. They've got a really strong buy-up coming into this round. Swisher and Peter saving from the previous one. Peter opens up the fragging on Barton through the smoke with the AWP. That's more of what we need to see from Peter. Oh, man, if only he had fired a moment sooner, could have had a second one for himself. But as it stands, a 5v4 in favor of the Bad News Bears, who they've already pushed 2 players here up banana.
Molly to slow them, at least for the moment. There's a lot of pressure here for Dumel. It's just about out of utility as well. Single flashbang, so they're going to bring a little bit of support here. Actually, they're going to bring a lot of support. They're going to bring 3 to hold B. All right, they've rotated where the stack is. This does seem to be the GODSENT way. Leave 1 on one site, move everybody else. Not a bad read here, as it is going to be a hit from the Bad News Bears. The bomb's not yet committed. Indeed, it is a fake thrown. It's a fake. Janji's alone here. Janji's going to come in towards the site. He's going to get 1 kill, so that might just sell it. Yeah, he's teaming 2 players here, certainly. Making a lot of noise. Oh, this was a ruse. Phelps doesn't care. Phelps takes 2, almost a third. What is this from Phelps? Janji's still holding their focus, though. They have to deal with Janji before they move on, and he's done enough. It's down to Lato in a 1v2. Swisher, 1 HP. So it's really Lato versus Peter and Swisher's Ghost that's clinging to life. The bomb is down. It's ticking away. Does Lato want to commit into this fight? He seems a bit hesitant. I don't think he's going to do it. That's interesting. This is a winnable 1v2, but the call's coming through, the comp's coming through. He's backing away.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their economy, it does make a lot of sense to save this AK into the next round. I think the loss bonus is only going to be at around 1,400 here for GODSENT. Maybe a little higher than that, but either way, I mean, they need to make sure this AK stays in play. Yeah, it was at 1,900, excuse me. But yeah, I think that with the AK save, they could buy up into this round.
And they will. Yeah, certainly. I don't think you save here. 3 players can buy for themselves. Dumao maybe limited on towards Deagle if Lato doesn't want to drop. If Lato wants to get the utility. But they'll be able to get something here. And actually, he is going to pick up a FAMAS for him. So yeah, full rifles, no problem there. They haven't really concerned themselves with the AWP, so it'll be another buy round in. The bad news bears, they've clawed this back from an abysmal first half to a very respectable scoreline here. Problem is, you stumble now, it's all for naught. Map point is what GODSENT seeks.
Swisher just going to spam the smoke there. Coming up banana. GODSENT playing it pretty passively, which they've done for quite a few rounds here towards banana. Bad News Bears will send the bomb on the flank here. Here comes the utility from GODSENT. They waited a little while, maybe trying to bait the Bad News Bears into uncomfortable positions and then throw those Molotovs. But in the end, it's the utility coming from the Bad News Bears that connects Lato, going down to half health, now down to 10 as he tried to engage with the 2 players coming up. So he's going to back off here, likely not going to peek again. They're going to stack up towards New Box, which makes sense given the HP here for Lato.
Bad News Bears playing with all that clock that they can. Really running the time out here. As much as possible. 35 seconds. They're still not grouped. Now I'm just getting very nervous. They're running the clock out too far. A bit of a fake throw, and there's still 2 players locked in here. Janji, once again, is going to try and hold them there, and it does seem like they're going to rotate towards an A hit. 20 seconds. There is no time to spare. So there's only 2 players towards the site. 1 out of position in towards the library. Barton and Taco, they're going to have to make some noise. 15 seconds. Here it goes. Running out of this time. Phelps, damage is done. They know he's isolating the library. They want this kill, and they're going to get it. There's Taco on site. There we go. There's the cleanup. 7 seconds. No time to spare. Just enough to punch the numbers in, and that might just trigger the save for GODSENT. There's nothing they can do about this. This is going to be an 11th round found for Bad News Bears. No margin on that one, but just enough to get her done.
What a swing by Swisher, though, to get that 3K. Excellent execution overall, Mike. But and you're looking at GODSENT now, you're probably getting a little bit nervous, right? The Bad News Bears have picked up an 11th for themselves. You're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of economy. You do have a couple of rifles. I would say 1.5 because you have a FAMAS there for Dumas. And yeah, it's a little tough. Janji kind of hunting, looking for blood. And we could see a 12th come through for the Bad News Bears. That sent GODSENT. They're so good with those pistols, so nothing can be taken for granted here. The ending.
Pause called here. I hope by one of the teams. Hopefully not of a technical nature. We've gotten so close. We're so close. So close. It was, in fact, a GODSENT timeout. Okay, there we go. Whew. Ha. Whew. Made me nervous. Made me nervous when it doesn't tell me whose timeout it was. Back to our faces here, John.
Yeah.
I'm feeling sweaty here, I gotta tell you. I've not got an air conditioner set up in my unit just yet. We're working on it. And this light plus my computer plus the fridge in my apartment make things very warm.
You need that air conditioning installed.
I've got it. It's in the back of my car. It's just very heavy and large. And so I need a little bit of a hand setting it up, and I have yet to acquire that hand. But I do have it. It's this massive, ridiculous U-shaped unit with 12,000 BTUs and Wi-Fi and all this other stuff I don't need. I just need it to make things cold. Please, please, please. I need that so desperately. I'm melting here, folks. I'm like the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm melting.
Try and get it set up during the day tomorrow, if you can.
I again need somebody, and I don't have somebody right now, so it might be a next week type of situation. But we'll see. We'll see what I can do. It turns out that an air conditioner that large is that powerful is quite heavy. Is this live? Are we back into the action? We're back into the action. Okay, it's live. Lato's got 3. There we go. No, 2. All right, I've lost track. Lato gets a couple of kills.
3v3 damage has been taken by the GODSENT side, so this gives the advantage to the oncoming T's. You're going to expect the graveyard players the question. O'Barton peeks out. He's only got a USPS. That's luckily for the Bad News Bears, of course. So he gets taken down by Spongy, making it a 3v2. And you have to imagine another save is going to be called here by GODSENT, given the fact they have 0 control of this A site. And indeed, it's Lato and Dumao, the same players in the previous round, saving the AK and the FAMAS, because they just could not do any damage in this round. Will the Bad News Bears hunt a little more aggressively? Honestly, I don't really think so. I'm answering my own question here because they want to make sure that they keep these rifles up.
Yeah, their economy's not that powerful right now. Oh, we'll see what they can do. Bad News Bears calling us back once again. GODSENT. Now just 2 rounds up. Their own economy a little bit shaky here, having to take these saves in a lot of different rounds. Not tempting. I mean, they've given up a lot of retakes that were viable. There was that 1v2 where Swisher was just about dead. I'm not sure if they realized it. This one was pretty tough considering the health on Lato and Mao.
Yeah.
But still, they're running out of opportunities here. At some point, you just got to put some skin in the game and try it.
Here we go. GODSENT. Going to invest in the op, and it's in Taco's hands this time.
You feed them, you raise them, you send them to school, and there's...
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I was
the funny
listening.
thing is that's very low to us. So I was like, that's not the big thing of the song. Oh, here it comes. Here comes action. Here comes the hit. John's going to be bringing some action through. He's trying to get these in here. Nades right onto him. Oh, Swisher taken out from under him. Johnji only saved by the boost of his friend, and now he's gone too. Both shut down, evaporated, annihilated. This has not worked out for them at all. Peter might just be able to catch Phelps trying to get away. Oh, but Phelps! No! Phelps gets caught the elbow first, and he escapes scot-free. Oh, no. It's all falling apart here for Bad News Bears in round 27. They are fallen by the wayside, and they've got nothing to go for it. It's Spongy and Shake who need to light their way. These 2 players have been phenomenal so far this map. What is this, Cam?
I don't know.
This is like aim down sights. What game is this?
It's like Quake or something.
Yeah, really. Centered, there we go. All right, my brain was about to break there. I can't fathom such things. And neither can the Bad News Bears because they've just given up that point. There we go. That's the problem with having a massive lead at the half, or having a massive deficit at the half, rather. All your opponents need are a few critical rounds, and now they found map point, and they have 3 tries to take it over the line.
Oh man, that was a beautiful nade stack and utility stack, I should say, over towards the half wall. They caught Swisher off guard, and then Johnji was peeked upon and taken down with the rifle. Nicely done for GODSENT. Executed to perfection, and that, of course, gives them the chance to close out this map and head on over to map number 2 with that everything. Nice to have. Like nothing lead. Johnji's going to throw this nade down, do a little bit of damage on Lato and Dumao, but he's trapped himself right next to the half wall. Lato wastes no time swinging on him. Phelps gets Swisher and Mike. This could be it.
This could be it indeed. Massive deficit for them to deal with. Positioning not looking good either, as Phelps is now taking deep control of Banana, and look, the bomb's still at the bottom of T-Ramp. Spongy gets his kill on the battle. Maybe, just maybe there's a path back in, but one of the biggest issues is just going to be getting Peter back into the fun, back into the fray. And he's gone. There we go. 2 players down. It's all in the back of Spongy. He doesn't even have to control the bomb. He just needs to kill everyone. He's not even going to get started. 5 alive for GODSENT in the final round, and they take their opponent's map pick, snatch it away, dash it upon the rocks, and start themselves off brilliantly in this series.